So a simple function, let's say test. So x equals to 100, and I write var of x equals to I equals to 10. I think someone has pointed this out in one of the coding channels also. So it's a good question. So I'm going to invoke a test here, and I'm going to log the value of both x and I. So generally the thought process here is either some people might end up saying it's 100 comma undefined. Some people say it's um, sorry, not this, console.log of x comma I. Some people say it is 100. It's a reference error, all that stuff. So it's all valid or valid options, I would say, but those are all wrong answers, because you would get the output as sorry. Let's invoke this. Yeah. So when you invoke or test and you get the output, you get 110 as the output, right? So it's very important to understand the difference here and why that happens. This involves a couple of topics. One is scoping, one is precedence again. So what happens here with X is that this X is a global scope. Because you have mentioned var of X here, it takes local scope to this function. And so the value of X, which is 10, doesn't get affected. But you can see that there is an I equals to 10. So what happens is that this I equals to 10 gets executed first. Why? Because our assignment operator states that it's from right to left. So I equals to 10 is first executed. But what is I? I is not defined. So we know that if you don't define I in the inside the function, it takes global scope, and this becomes var of I. It defines, due to hoisting, it will define var of I here, right? And because of that, actually that's not because of hoisting, I would say, but it defines I in the global space. It looks for the variable I in the parent scope. It doesn't find, so it declares it in the parent scope. So this is as if yeah, we can't put that there. So generally how we would write this is, you can write something like this. There's a comma operator that you can put. All right, yeah. So this is because it's already run in this browser, so I have to refresh this. Now if I run this, it'll throw I is not defined. Right here also it shows I is not defined. So if you use a comma operator, it's more valid to use. And now if you run this also, it doesn't affect your scope. So X is again 100, right? So this is a local scope and it's a variable X here. Okay. Now, sometimes one more question I ask people is, what happens if I put a console log of X here? A lot of people end up saying it's 100 or sometimes even 10. So that's also wrong. And let's log this out. And when you have to run this, you would get the answer as undefined. This is because of hoisting now. So you're already aware of shadowing. So if you have the same variable name inside the inner function, it's called shadowing. And when you do hoisting over it, since this variable is created within this function, there's hoisting. So this X refers to this X here, not the X outside. All right, so you will not get that. If you define somewhere in a program, if you define the same variable name, and you're trying to log the value to global variable, you will not get it. So this is sometimes an important question to understand. Regarding hoisting, there's many questions that you can get. The best is like keep experimenting and getting your concepts straight about hoisting.